Good morning, everyone. Make sure we got sound here. Looks like we're good. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, we're all set up. This probably needs to be muted. Hope everybody's having a good day. Oh, and then I unmuted it. All right, we're ready. 25 seconds. At least I talked during that portion, right? So, all right. So, I've been threatening, not threatening, but I've been saying I'm going to talk about contempt prior to investigation. The reason I'm not doing it today is because I feel like I'm just a little too emotionally attached to it right now. Over the last week, I've been kind of doing exactly that, is investigating. See, our recovery community is hurting badly. And I don't know. See, I think we in AA have gotten to a point where we just feel like our rooms are going to fill up. You know, we aren't out there in the community doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's going to hospitals and jails. And why are you guys leaving these up to other people when we're the ones that are supposed to be doing it? It's kind of a hard one. It's attraction, not promotion, right? But we need to. But if we aren't out in the world doing what it is that we need to be doing, then that message doesn't get passed on, and the message gets passed on to anyone. Because here's the thing, 30 years ago, it was like 1 in every 10 families was affected by addiction or alcoholism. Now it's everyone. Everyone knows somebody else that is addicted to something. And that's because of the opiate crisis, which is still going on. That's still happening. So we need to get ourselves out there. So what, you guys, what I do over here is I work on our recovery community. That's kind of what I do, to make sure that people are doing the right things, and nobody pays me a dime to do it. I care. I give a fuck. People are going to start paying me to do it if they're going to go the route they think that they're going. But here's the thing. I need all that information, or I can't make an informed decision, right? Or even a right decision. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I know how things should look. I just do. I don't even agree with the way our sober livings go, man. No, I'm not. You know what? It's a great service, but it is not sober. That is not sober living. Sober living. Some of you may know what the Phoenix concept is. Even now, I would not consider it a sober living, though. But back when I went through it, back in the late 80s, early 90s, it's 89 to 90, literally. So, the first 3 months you were there, you didn't leave the house. You didn't leave the place. You went to meetings. You got a sponsor, and you did the steps. You did the work, and they gave us 3 meals a day, a pack of cigarettes. Yes, pack of cigarettes each day, and we would sand plaques and make piggy banks, and then those would be donated to pay for our meals and things like that. Most of our meals were actually from the pinto beans down in the basement that were piled there. We had to do a lot of boiling because there were a lot of mice. So, but it was a community. Okay, it was one alcoholic helping out another. Okay, but no, but we're talking about Skid Row drunks. We need to be locked down for a certain amount of time, and 3 months is about it. I saw some of those guys come in there and, not hit a detox first, and we'd have to clean them. There was one guy, he came in. He was with us for a month and a half. Took about a month for him to get his wherewithal. Okay. Had no idea who he was. We didn't know who he was. Okay. And this is early 90s. Trying to track somebody down isn't as easy as it is today. It turns out that this man had been missing and actually had quite a lot of money. Right. So he gave a nice sized donation and went on his merry way after a couple months. 3 days later, he died of asphyxiation in his room in Las Vegas. And he should have stayed the 3 months. Okay. Because in my mind, there was no difference between him and anybody else in there. So, but I'm kind of going off here. Let's read the reflection. Okay, this one's going to be fun. I'm gonna tell you why, because I don't agree. Surprise, surprise. I'm trying to figure out what, and I'm literally going out of my way to figure out. And so I came up with something that I do agree with that I think is in the same place. But let's go over it because it may mean something different to you than it does me, right? Maybe mine's reading it is like, no, and it has a defensive. Who knows? Let's find out. We often see people in the program devoutly and with seemingly sincerity ask for God's guidance on matters ranging from major crisis to such insignificant things as what to serve at a different dinner party. I do not find that insignificant. I'm a Virgo and I do parties, right? So, okay. Right. But they're talking about insignificant things. Though they may be well-intentioned, such people tend to force their wills into all sorts of situations. This is the part that confused me, guys. With the comfortable assurance that they are following God's specific direction. In reality, this sort of prayer is nothing more than a self-serving demand of God for replies. It has little to do with the program's suggested 11th step. Do I strive regularly to study each of the steps and to practice them in all my affairs? So I'm the kind of person where I like direction, you know, and I'll ask God for direction, even on small things sometimes, because I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to make a decision. Okay. So what I came up with this, though, I think what they're trying to say is, you know, hey, God, I want to make a decision, this or this. Okay. Now we're making now that's a demand list. Okay. So I'm going to kind of go with that so that I can be in agreement with this. You know, because I hate going against anything anybody's saying to me. I like to take a good look at it. If it is something that I haven't covered in my mind or in my heart or even in my stomach, then I want to take a look at it. And this was one where I'm like, you know, I took that seriously, man. I'm like, what? No, I'm not supposed to go for guidance? The fuck's your problem, Hazelden? Right, Hazelden? Right. Stupid Hazelden, you're not even AA. I think what they're trying to say more, though, is, you know, we don't put those decisions on God and say, hey, can you do that? Yeah. That we ask for direction and then shut up. You know, it isn't, well, is this the right way or is that the right way? I do ask sometimes, hey, am I going the right way? But I don't put any expectation on it, I guess. I don't plan that plan, man. So I do get what they're saying in a sense. May not make the common mistake of listing my own solutions. Maybe I should have just read it all for God and then making my stamp of divine approval. Okay, that makes a lot more sense to me. I was pretty tired when I read this. It was like an hour ago. And then I had some other things I needed to catch up on first. So yeah, making a list of my own solutions. Okay. So yes, a demand list for God. Okay. And here I'm saying, thank you, God, for giving me the right answer. Doesn't that go against what they're, okay, I'll figure it out. Don't you guys fret. May I catch myself if I'm not really opening my mind to God's guidance, but merely laying out my own answers with, what do you think of these attitude? Till remember, am I looking good am I looking for God's rubber stamp, his seal of approval? I think in the beginning, yeah, I certainly was. I was looking for approval from everyone. My wife, my mom. It took time, obviously. And it certainly didn't come in the forms that I thought it was going to. And my life is definitely a lot different. People come to me and they trust me with what I do. Yeah, even my mom, and my mom's a stickler, man. Much to our relief, we discovered we did not need to consider another's conception of God. Our own conception, however inadequate, was sufficient to make the approach and to effect a contact with him. As soon as we admitted the possible existence of a creative intelligence, the spirit of the universe underlying the totality of things, we began to be possessed of a new sense of wonder and direction, provided we took other simple steps. We found that God does not make too hard terms with those who seek him. To us, the realm of the spirit is broad, roomy, all-inclusive, never exclusive or forbidding. To those who earnestly seek, it is open, we believe, to all men. And that is absolutely true. For us, we need to make the decision on whether we're going to accept that into our lives or not. And it's imperative that we do that, or we're not going to make progress. When therefore we speak to you of God, we mean your own conception of God. This applies to other spiritual expressions you will find in this book. Do not let any prejudice you may have against spiritual terms deter you from honestly asking yourself what they mean to you. Yeah, what do they mean to you, man? That's all that matters. And everybody else's conception, don't worry about it. Okay? I listen to some people's conception of God, and I don't understand. Okay? Mine's very, very simple. It's pretty straightforward. God relieves me of alcoholism, and I do his work. It's pretty straightforward. So, not always easy. At the start, this was always this was all we needed to commence spiritual growth, to affect our first conscious relationship with God as we understood him. Afterward, we found ourselves accepting many things, which then seemed quite entirely out of reach, like maybe accepting the fact that we have a disease and that we're going to have it and that we need to deal with it. That was growth. But if we wish to grow, we had to begin somewhere, and that's a great place. So we used our own conception, however limited it was. It doesn't matter. Okay? And I would go into that, I had a good amount of sobriety, but my higher power today is certainly different than it was in my first round. I had to realize and be open-minded when I came in that that maybe my conception of God was wrong towards the beginning. Or that my thing was this. I didn't think God wanted me back. I thought I had fucked up too much and that he wasn't going to take me back. That was my deal. I wasn't, and I was afraid to meet him again. That fear was real. Because then I have to go to him and say I fucked up. I didn't want to do that. So thankfully, another man in the program helped me do that. Thank you, Paul. Love you, dude. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow for a daily reflection. Our 12 by 12. So my home group. I told them, because what I'm doing, I'm starting at 12 by 12. It's a 12 by 12 by 12 because we're going to do the principles also. And we're going to have it Friday. And I was telling them we're going to do it at noon. They're like, that interferes with our meeting. So I'm moving it to 2. Okay. Because I guess there's a lot of people that already go to noon meetings that want to go. And Jill said it was cool, so she's good with it. So we're going to be doing those at 2:00. But what that does is that frees up a lot of people with some fantastic sobriety to come. I'm excited. I'm excited for that. There'll be a lot of, and there's going to be a lot of service work in that. So we are going to be taking donations for the group, but the donations are going to go to Orchard Club South. So you'll donate straight to them. I won't even ever see it. And we're going to kind of set it up so maybe get on their list and stuff. Right? Do some service work, right? Get more people involved and do more things. Kind of like I was talking about in the beginning. So if you're available at 2 on Fridays, that's what we're doing now. Every week, we're going to do 12 by 12. Maybe get into a big book study here and there. But I'd like to hit the 12 by 12. So I think I've said 12 by 12 enough. It's like watching football. Those announcers just love saying pick 6. If they can find any chance to say it, they say it because they're like, oh, it makes yourself so cool. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Bye.